So here's a hot take for the new year. My hot take for this new year is confidence can solve all our all our personal problems, all our psychological, mental problems. Just like the purring of a cat, I guess. Hello? I took some notes this time because I didn't want to make this a huge video. So I have my notebook here. So if I'm not looking at the camera, you know what I'm looking at. So let's begin. The title of this video, Confidence Solves All? Questionmark. Being grounded versus being confident versus having faith. We're going to talk about these very quickly, very systematically, I hope. And the reason I am talking about this specifically is because lately I was looking for a way to become more confident myself, specifically when talking and engaging with a bunch of guys. As you might remember from my previous video, if you've watched that, I have a lot of difficulty talking to guys because of my anxieties. So I was looking for a way to become more confident so that I don't have to be anxious all the time when I talk to guys or when I have to engage with guys, in particular guys that I think are attractive, physically appealing, aesthetically appealing. As you also might know, I'm asexual and aromantic, so I do not necessarily pursue any further engagement with these people, but I just want to make my life more easier because it doesn't make sense to be this stressed and anxious and tight when talking or engaging with people that are aesthetically nice to look at, right? So that was the reason I was looking for a way to become more confident. First of all, my strategy is always using positive affirmations because I know it works. If you don't really believe in them, please watch my other videos on positive affirmations and whatever. Self-confidence, self-love. The videos are a little bit old, but they still hold truth. I still believe in what I said back then. But it does not quite solve everything because I have tried to use positive affirmations and I know it takes a bit longer before it actually starts to work. So it doesn't really help to like listen to positive affirmation video just before the situation, just before the actual thing that I'm anxious about, right? Because you need your brain to learn these things and learning takes time. So obviously it is not like a very fast route and a very fast way to become more confident. And even then, only confidence. I'm actually going to give a counter argument for my statement right now, but please bear with me because there is a logic to this whole sequence. So, confidence alone doesn't really solve it. Why? Because for me personally, if I'm confident about myself, I can still feel anxious somehow. Like, okay, it's a fragile thing because as soon as I enter that space in which I have been anxious all the time, like in my body, right? And in my mind, if I only change my mind and I enter that space again, it will still trigger something in that. So either we have to specifically target that context in which we feel a certain way, but that is pretty difficult. I have not really found a way to do that. Maybe using visualization techniques like visualizing yourself in that space and then using the positive affirmations. I think there's actually a guided sleep meditation that I do. There's just a video on the internet that is specifically for IBS. I can link it below. It's very helpful. So it's like a sleep meditation for specifically for people with IBS, and it uses this like visualization hypnosis technique to make you more relaxed and everything. But in the end of that video, there is a bit where they specifically make you think about a situation in which you've been anxious before, and then apply like the relaxation that you've been doing in the rest of the video. So I think that could be a technique to use to target a specific context in which you're feeling anxious. Or you have to be very mindful that whenever you find yourself in that context and you know that, oh, this context triggers some kind of anxiety, whether that is a bodily, like a physical trigger, like a physical manifestation, or like a mental manifestation. So like starting to spiral in your own head, like thinking about things like, oh my god, for me, for example, like, oh my god, do I look nice? Do I look good? Do I look weird? Do I have something on my face? Is there something in my teeth? Like, I don't dare to smell anymore. Like, oh my god, maybe I look weird. Like very in my head, and like also thinking about the perspective of others, like how do people perceive me? So whether it's like physical, like feeling very shaky, for example, or very tight, or it's mental, like spiraling into some kind of negative thinking, or very like self-conscious thinking. When you're like aware of that, and it takes some mental strength, try to be like mindful. Okay, it happens, and then in the moment, try to use positive affirmations to like counteract that negative spiraling. For example, if I think, oh my god, I look weird, what if people think I'm weird? Then instead of that, I can say like, no, it doesn't matter whether I look weird. Like, I don't look weird. If people think I'm looking weird, that's on them. Like, I don't think I look weird. Why would other people think that? And if they do, it doesn't matter, right? What's in it for me? Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, why do people need to like me all the time? But that is practice, right? And it takes time again, and also you have to be in the moment, so you are already anxious. It's very difficult to do that. I'm going off script already, guys. I'm sorry. So let's get back to script. I actually said like, oh, not everyone needs to like me, right? That's what I said, right? But actually, I think personally that it would be very much advantageous. How can I say? There will be like a lot of advantages if people like you, right? If everyone would like you, and I'm with like, I don't mean like romantically, but just as a person, like platonically, like just, okay, this person is a nice person, I want to be around this person, or not necessarily I want to be around this person, but also like in the work, I want to work with this person. If you're like in a professional setting, like, okay, if someone is looking for a new client, or if you are looking for a client and this person is like, okay, I do want to work with you, that's advantageous. How do I say that? advantageous, maybe, I don't know. Right, so I think it would make life much more easier if we don't have to worry about whether people will like us or not. Now, from here, we can go two ways, right? If we have this statement like looking for ways that Am I still going off script? I don't know. Me and scripts don't work well together, I guess. Anyways, so if we have this statement like, I don't want to care about whether people actually like me or not, we can change that bit like caring, because that is on me, right? That's my doing. Like, my doing is the caring, other people's doing is the liking. So we can change me caring, or we can change people liking. Changing me caring is again using positive affirmations, like, or like just positive statements, if you will, saying like, oh, it doesn't matter if people like me or not, right? Just changing the belief you have that, not that it does matter, like obviously maybe, like I said, it is advantageous, but if there's an, if you really want to change this belief, right, it's a hypothetical thing. You can change your, you can try to change your thinking using this positive affirmation technique, like changing the way you're thinking, changing your thought patterns. The other thing we can change, both hypothetically, right, is the people liking. But the problem with that is we cannot change directly one person. We cannot like enter their brain or like push a button and say like, right now this person likes me. Push the button again, now he doesn't like me. So the controllable factor in this equation is ourselves. The non-controllable factor in this equation is the other person. And for me, I am a very like a control freak, so I want to be in control. I want certainty. So if I like walk into a group of guys and I'm like, oh my god, or if there's like that is not a good example, but so if there's a guy that I think is aesthetically appealing, and my brain is like, oh my god, I want this guy to like me too, then I'm like, I want that certainty that if I do X, Y, Z, he will like me, right? That's why I've been looking at things like, oh, how to be more desirable, how to be more likable. Because if I can do something that changes the other person, so if I change my behavior, because I can only change myself, right? So I need to change something in order to change that other person's liking me or not. And if there's a certainty to it, if there's one specific behavior that really changes someone and it works for everyone, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be amazing? Because then you have control, you have power, you've like, okay, I can do anything to change someone else's perspective of me, right? So I've been looking for like ways to be more likable or like irresistible or whatever. There's there's a bunch of videos on the internet, and a lot of it is bullshit, of course. A lot of it is manipulative. A lot of it is just for views because it's interesting to watch those videos. I think it's interesting to not only for me to like actually use it, but just to think about it somehow. Maybe because it's such a intangible thing, right? I'm still looking for an answer. There's no true answer because it's very personal. It differs from person to person what someone likes and what not. So it's like a puzzle for me that I can keep thinking about. It's kind of addictive in that way, but nonetheless of whether things work or not, let's just stick to the facts that I have been looking into that just because I'm looking for that answer. And then I kind of came into this, rabbit hole like, okay, how to be seductive. And if you're seductive, what does that mean? It means, oh, you're sensual. Or at least a part of it is being sensual. And then I was like, what the hell is being sensual? So, and how are you? How are you sensual? And the answer was like, okay, you have to be more grounded. You have to be more grounded. And what the hell is being grounded? So, I'm like, okay, what's this? What's that? What's that? Like, why does this? Why do I have to do this? What does it do? And stuff like that. I keep searching into that thing. And then I came with, what does it mean to be grounded? That was the answer to that was, okay, being grounded means be more present, be more focused, like outwardly focused, like not being in your head all the time, but like actually perceiving what's around you. Thirdly, be more slow and calm. And fourth, be more like laid back, more like passive instead of reactive, instead of being constantly going forward. Like, how can I say? It will be more clear in a bit. And if it's not, you can look it up on the internet. So that those four things to me sounds very much like just being confident, right? Because if you're confident, it means you believe that you'll manage anything in any situation. Confidence is like a belief in yourself. Now, next to confidence, we have what I call faith. And faith is not something religious, okay? Faith is the belief that everything will always work out for you the way that it's supposed to be working out for you, the way that is good for you. And it's a contextual belief. It's like a belief in whether that's something like a higher force or something, or just something invisible or something, whether it's a god or just nature or just, I don't know, laws of nature. I don't know, laws of physics, something like that, something like laws of attraction or whatever you want to believe in. That doesn't matter, that's very personal. But nonetheless, a faith means that you believe that everything will be all right for you. So together with confidence, the belief that you will be fine, like you can do anything in any situation, whether you go off script or not, right? If we're like rehearsing a situation beforehand, we think we're in control. But even if something else happens that makes the whole situation go off our script, we can still manage in that situation. The belief that we can still manage, even if we're not in control. So those two together signal to our brain that we're safe, because we believe that whatever will happen, it will be fine. Whether that is, I will be fine, I will manage, or whatever happens, to me, that is good for me because it was meant for me, right? Those two things signal our brain says, okay, I'm safe, because no matter what happens, nothing will happen. It will be all right. It will be good. That that starts like the relaxation mode, like the nervous system calms down. I don't know the specific terms for it, but you'll be more grounded, basically. Because remember what I said about being grounded means like you be present, you're focused more outward, you're slow, you're calm, you're relaxed. If you're feeling safe, your body is like, okay, the very opposite of being stressed, right? Relaxing your muscles, slowing the breath, and instead of being in your head all the time, like overanalyzing situation, overanalyzing things, like being very hypersensitive because there's a threat out there, right? There's a threat, we need to act. Instead of that, we don't have to be alert all the time because we're safe. Just like when you're in your bed, trying to sleep in your house in a safe space, right? You don't need to be aware and like alert all the time. There's nothing going to happen. You're safe in your house, in your bed, I don't know, under the blanket. You're feeling relaxed. You can let go. Your brain is like, okay, I don't need to keep thinking about what I need to do do I look good? Nobody's watching me right now, right? I don't care. That's what happens when you're like believing, okay, I'm safe, whether that is outside or inside. I'm safe, so your body can relax. Your muscle tension is softening. Your muscles are softening. Your breathing is slowing down. Your heartbeat is slowing down. You're feeling more relaxed overall. And what that does, so what that does is that you become more grounded automatically. So my question, the question after hearing this, right? Can it also work the other way around? So this, what we just discussed, is like starting with faith and confidence, which you can work on with positive affirmations. Like faith and confidence result into being more grounded, more relaxed, more bodily, like physically relaxed, right? Does it also work the other way around? That if we work on relaxing the body using relaxation techniques, does that also mean we become more confident? Because we know we'll be more grounded physically, but does that also change what's going on in our brain? That's just my thought experiment, okay? So how do we do that? Begin practicing physical relaxation in tight situations. Because we can practice physical relaxation when we're in our bed trying to sleep. That's also very important, obviously, because you want to sleep, but it does not necessarily translate into the actual tight situation, the actual stressful situation. Just like I said in the beginning of this video, using the confidence, like the positive affirmations in a safe space, doesn't necessarily translate to also being able to keep that mindset when you're in a tight spot that triggers the anxiety or the stress. So let's see. So you have to practice it in the tight situation itself. So let's say when I see an aesthetically appealing guy, and I think like, oh, I have to engage with him because I will never go on there my own, right? So I have to engage with him. It makes me very anxious and very stressed. Then in that moment, I need to be more mindful, more like conscious of, okay, I'm gonna relax my shoulders. I'm gonna like push my weight into the ground. I do not need to be in control. My body can like let go, because feeling tense kind of makes me feel in control, because I'm in control of my body. If I let go of my muscles, I feel like I'm also losing control over my body. That is also very anxious to me. That's another topic. So trying to like soothe my body, feeling the weight, like the ground will carry me. I don't need to be in control of carrying myself. The ground will carry me, right? Relaxing the diaphragm, that thing there. What else? Like softening the jaw muscles, the neck muscles, the tongue. If I'm like sucking my tongue to the, what's that called again? My English. If I'm like sucking my tongue against the roof of my mouth, the ceiling of my mouth, that is also tension, right? Leaving the tongue like laying down and only the tip like touching the behind the teeth, that signals relaxation. So being more mindful, conscious of that, the body will signal the brain that, okay, we're safe, because it works both ways, right? The body can signal the brain I'm safe, and the brain can signal the body I'm safe. So it will, relaxing the body will result into that I'm safe mode. That will result into being more grounded, like physically at least. But will it also make you feel more confident? I do not think so. Personally, there's no scientific proof, I think, but at least I didn't look into that. It's just my thought experiment, right? So I don't think so because, how can I say? The confidence and faith do not necessarily follow the body being in safe mode. Because if I'm in safe mode in my bed, for example, if I'm just like safe in my room, nobody's watching me, right? Do I feel confident? Maybe in my room. But if I'm in my room and relax and I think about, okay, randomly a nice, like a good looking guy spawns in my bedroom, will I still be confident? Probably not, because that trigger is back. The trigger that makes me feel anxious is back. And even if I'm in that situation and I'm telling my body, okay, I'm relaxed, will I still be more confident? I think no. I think no. You can not be confident and you can still be acting confident, right? There's two different things. I can make people think I'm confident, whereas I'm still not confident in my head. But my behavior can change, right? Without actually changing my belief. So we're nearing the end here. Let's see. So that last step of, okay, we've relaxed our body, we're going backwards, right? We're grounding, feeling safe, and then that confidence step, we have to work on that more consciously, more like intentionally. It's not following automatically from from being grounded, from relaxing our body. There's another option in this. So even though the body does not the body is feeling safe, but we are not believing in ourselves or whatever, or that confidence isn't there, we can actually be numbed or apathetic. That means we've distanced ourselves, myself, from the outcome of the context. So what happens is, let's say there's this nice looking guy. I am forced to engage with him. For example, he is working at the counter. I need to pay for something I buy. Then let's say, okay, my body is feeling grounded, but in my head I'm not necessarily confident. But actually what is happening is I am being apathetic. I do not care about the outcome anymore. Something in my brain has shifted. Another belief has popped up that, okay, I do not care anymore. Like, it doesn't matter whether this guy likes me. It doesn't matter whether he does not like me, whether I want him to like me or not. Because I'm just, the passion is gone. Like, I do not care for it anymore. It doesn't, it's also, for example, in school, if you're like, well, I don't care for it anymore. Like, I don't care for getting good grades anymore. I do not care for handing in a perfect report, or I do not care whether I've learned well, for the test, or whether I get a good grade for my test or not. I don't care. That is not the same thing as being confident in yourself, right? It's not the same thing as having faith that whatever happens to you will be alright, because you just don't care whether it is right for you or not, whether you fail or whether you succeed. You just don't care. Is it wrong to be apathetic about stuff? You can answer that for yourself. But I can tell you that being apathetic, it makes you more like a zombie, right? Because what are you living for? Zombies are just walking the earth without it. Like, they just want to eat. That's all they do. They just want to eat. And there's no willpower to do anything else. Because you don't have any passion anymore. You're actually not having a will to live, so to say. Because what are you working for? You are not working for anything because you don't care about anything. And that can lead to depression, right? Because when you're depressed, or yeah, some people feel like there's no point to this because now you don't have like a superior motive or some kind of bigger goal in your life. You're not working towards something. There's not something you care about working for. There's no meaning to your life because what are you doing? You're not caring about anything. Like, what the hell, whatever I do, doesn't matter, right? I have no impact in this world. It doesn't matter what I do. What's the point? So, conclusion, being empathetic is not quite the way we want to go. So, that being said, just working on your bodily relaxation and not working on your mind can lead to becoming apathetic because you no longer care. And it just being apathetic just in general, right? Not just in this exemplary situation that I just mentioned, like, oh, there's a guy and I need to talk to him, but just in general. So we need to work on both confidence and faith, as well as working on the body, on the relaxation part. That way we can get into that relaxation grounded mode much faster, much more easily, instead of just working on the relaxation or just working on the confidence thing, right? How can we do that? Using positive affirmations, yay! Always getting back at that because it does work. It really does work. If you're like, what the hell? Why? I do not want to. Like, this is bullshit. This is something influencers say, like manifesting and everything. Please watch my video on the subconscious versus conscious versus unconscious mind thingy. I have been explaining there and in probably other videos as well, like how exactly it works, because I too like to understand like the reason why things work, and like, because don't believe everything you see on the internet, right? So always question like why or how. And there's another thing, I think I wanted to make a video on like the difference between manifesting and positive affirmations and praying. I'm not sure if I actually did already upload something about it. I remember filming it. I don't know. I do not always upload videos I film. So, anyways, there's a difference there. So please watch the bunch of other videos I made on it if you're very skeptical, which is totally fine. But positive affirmations can improve your confidence and faith. And that in turn will help feeling safe. And if you're also practicing relaxing your body at the same time, you'll be a super person, super thingy. Yeah, so assignment, I already said that, blah, blah, blah. So what would, yeah, I already said that. Okay, last page. Oh, right. So in the end, what happens if we've worked on confidence, we've worked on faith, we've worked on relaxing our body, and we've become this superhuman? What happens is, like we said, so sorry, my there's air in my body, I guess, I don't know. What happens is we become grounded, we become relaxed, and like I said in the beginning, being grounded means being present, being focused outward, not being in our head, being more slow, being more, more present in general, which means we are more aware of other people, we are more aware of our external surroundings, we are more perceptive, we can show more genuine interest in the other person because we're not constantly in our own head thinking about ourselves, like, do I look good, do I say something stupid, do people think I'm stupid or whatever. No, we don't have to do that all the time. So we now can shift our focus to other people, like genuinely being interested in them. And you become also more open, because if you're stressed and like thinking in your brain, you're becoming enclosed, right? you're so turned inward, you're so anxious for things outside of you that you naturally become a little bit more defensive, a bit more like a stone wall. Like you're focused on yourself, not to others. People will see that, people will sense that. So you're not feeling open, you're not feeling like welcoming, so to say, to interactions. You're not really being approachable. But now that we're safe and grounded and present, right, not thinking about ourselves all the time, we naturally become more open because we're now shifting our focus to the external thing. We're perceiving others, so become more approachable, more friendly. We are being perceived as more friendly from the outer perspective, because now we can relax, we can smile instead of being like, fuck my life, and that in turn is something that people like. Do you like someone who is like very like uptight and like very like, oh, looking a little bit grumpy, maybe looking a bit anxious, harsh? Do you want to be near that person, or do you want to be near that person that is relaxed, open, friendly, interested in you, instead of, oh my god, I don't know if people like me or not? You know, people are naturally attracted or naturally interested into that more grounded person. And that is why in on the internet it said like, okay, if you want to be more likable, you need to be grounded. Because if you're grounded, you're able to interact with people more genuinely, and people just naturally like other people who are interested in them, right? Because they feel seen, they feel acknowledged. And I have also done a video on that actually, being acknowledged for you, being seen by others. Doesn't that make you feel so loved? Like, and if you feel loved, you also be more loving towards that person. It will be more easy to also like that person, right? It's very reciprocating. Yeah. Anyways, so if you're grounded, people will kind of, what's that called? Gravitate towards you naturally. And so we're coming back to my main goal, right? In the beginning, remember I said, oh, I wanted to be more likable. I wanted to find that holy grail on how do I become likable. And like this, getting this certainty that if I do X, Y, Z, people will automatically and always and surely like me, just like this. It's like a physical law, like a net and law of physics. What's that called? If I do this, it will be that. It's like this certainty, right? I was looking for that and I found it. If you follow this video, you see like the steps I've made. If you're more grounded, you become more likely because you're more open, you're becoming more likable. So if we are grounded, no matter in what situation, you will become more likable. And then obviously there will always still be people that do not like you. There's always hateful people in this world who is just like hating on people because they are bitter in their hearts, or they have something to compensate, or they're very insecure or whatever. But that's nothing to do with you, okay? So that's just on them. So obviously, no, it's not always a certainty, right? But it is a certainty for most of the time. And if nothing else, it does help you, because do you want to be stressed all the time, or do you want to be relaxed most of the time? I know the answer. So, conclusion, like I said in the beginning, confidence is the answer to it all. Maybe not confidence, but the not confidence alone, probably like confidence, faith, and relaxation. But if you're working on the first two, it will automatically also lead to feeling safe, because that is just a stronger link. There's a stronger link between telling yourself I feel safe and everything, and then your body also relaxing. Then it is the other way around, like body feeling safe or body relaxing, and then feeling safe and then changing your brain suddenly. No, that doesn't work, or at least not as good as the other way around. And if you want to learn more about that, like why does it work to like tell myself I'm safe, please look at my other videos. I think it's in the unconscious subconscious thingy actually that I talk about that link between telling your brain I'm safe and then actually feeling safe. So I still didn't make it a very short video. I'm so sorry, guys. I did not even go on off script that much. Only in the beginning a little bit, but and this was like only a 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. I don't know. Maybe I just talk a lot. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have to save my cat from the outside. Bye.